Imagine walking into summer as the most confident, glowing, unstoppable version of yourself. You didn't wait for motivation, you didn't second guess yourself, you just started. You put in the work, quietly, consistently, day by day, and now you're here, thriving. But here's the truth. This version of you isn't far away. She's just on the other side of a decision to start today, to show up for yourself, and to see what happens when you fully commit for the next 3 months. Your future self will thank you for making the decision to start right now. Here's exactly how you're going to transform in the next 3 months. 3 months from now, you're either going to be so grateful and proud of yourself for making the decision to start today, or you're going to be wishing that you had. Let's be really honest with ourselves here. How many times have we just thought that this is the year that we're going to glow up? This is the year where everything is going to be different. And then you're motivated for a little bit, but then it starts to fade. And then life starts to happen. And then before you know it, you are looking around months later and you're still in the same place. I'm going to tell you right now, you're not alone if that's how you feel. I have been there so many times, and I don't want that disappointment for you anymore. Most people wait for motivation. They search high and low for the perfect routine, and they end up overcomplicating the entire process and then quit whenever it doesn't stick. But that is not going to be you, because today you're about to get a real plan. A glow up is not about just looking good, it's about feeling undeniable. It's about waking up with energy, walking into a room and just knowing that you're that girl or that guy, and just showing up for yourself and your life in a way that makes you proud. And here's the best part. You do not need this insane amount of willpower. You don't need a complete personality shift, and you don't need an unrealistic, extensive routine to make all of this happen. All you need is a plan, and I've got you. In this video, I am breaking down exactly what to do step by step so that by summer, you are walking into every single room like you own it. So if you're ready to stop waiting and start becoming, give this video a like, drop a comment, and let me know exactly what your biggest glow up goal is going to be, and make sure to hit subscribe so we can actually do this journey together. And without further ado, let's go ahead and let's dive into exactly step by step how you're going to glow up for this summer. The first thing we have to do with any glow up is to build that foundation internally, and that all starts with your mindset. So the first thing we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to rewire our thoughts. 95% of the thoughts that you have today are the exact same thoughts that you had yesterday. Now, this is a quote from Joe Dispenza, but it is very, very eye-opening if you really think about it. If you are constantly telling yourself, I'm stuck, I will just start Monday, I never follow through, you are literally programming your brain to stay in that same cycle. Your mind is going to be your biggest asset, or it's going to be your biggest obstacle. Our brains are really crazy because they don't know the difference between what's real and what's actually imaginary. So a really big way to start rewiring your thoughts is to visualize the version of yourself that you want to be. Visualize and feel the emotions of becoming that person. And the more and more you do this, it's going to trick your brain into believing that that's your reality. And in turn, that's actually going to become your reality, because it's just going to believe that it's already true. So every morning and all throughout the day, visualize that best version of yourself that is already at the end of this glow up. Feel the confidence, feel the discipline, feel the energy, and feel how proud of yourself that you are. And the more and more that you do this, you're going to just naturally embody it, because again, our brain is really going to believe that this is our reality, which is going to trick your thoughts into aligning with that version of yourself, which in turn is going to reflect in your external reality. Because just like Dr. Joe Dispenza says, which if you don't follow him, you absolutely should, he explains a lot of the science behind our brains and meditation and spirituality and why things are the way they are and why energy affects us the way that it does. but he always says that your personality creates your personal reality. So if you really want to change your life, you have to change how you act, how you feel, and how you think every single day. I know that you're tired of feeling stuck. I know that you're ready for real change. And I promise you that if you apply everything I tell you in this video and you watch it all the way through, your life will change drastically within a few months. But that's only going to happen if you stop letting that old version of you make the decisions for the new you. One of the biggest reasons that people never glow up and just stay where they are is because they settle. They accept the same excuses, the same habits, and the same beliefs, and those same cycles that keep them stuck, which in turn just traps them into this old version of themselves. They give away all of their energy to negativity, to self-doubt, and to literally anything else that doesn't truly align with who they want to be. But that is not you. Not anymore. You have to raise your standards. Stop accepting less than what you deserve. Stop entertaining these thoughts and these habits and these environments that don't align with who you want to be. You have got to demand more from yourself. And when you say you're going to do something, you have to follow through with it. This is so important, because if you don't follow through with your word to yourself, your word means nothing. And you will therefore not have any self-respect, and you won't believe yourself whenever you say you're going to do something, because your word will have no value whatsoever. This is so important to realize, because I have personally let myself down so many times telling myself I would do something, and then in the back of my head I had this voice saying, you're not actually gonna do that, girl, like, funny thought, and then I actually wouldn't end up doing it. And then I would just keep disappointing myself, and I stayed in this loop of self-disappointment and just not believing in myself. And being able to follow through with the commitments you make to yourself is going to be a true game changer and is the ultimate form of self-respect. Make your commitments to yourself non-negotiable, because when you start showing up as that version of yourself and you don't make any exceptions and you start keeping those promises to yourself, that's when that true shift really happens. You start to build trust in yourself, and then you start to become that version of you. One of my favorite quotes from Tony Robbins is, the only thing keeping you from getting you what you want is the story you keep telling yourself. So it's time to rewrite the story. You have to expect more. Push yourself in ways that you have never pushed yourself before. Because the second that you stop settling for average, your glow up becomes inevitable. Because your glow up isn't just about what you decide to do, it's who you decide to be. So keep yourself in check and ask yourself, what would the most confident version of me do in this situation? How would she act? How would she think? What would she do? And then just do it, no matter how uncomfortable it might be. For example, let's say you're going throughout your day and something or someone comes along and just really annoys you or really frustrates you. We've all been there. You have to ask yourself, would this ideal version of me that is glowing up and is just that best version that I could ever imagine of myself, would they let this ruin their day? Would they sit in this frustration, annoyed, very negative energy? Or would they go figure out what they have to do to take a step back and realign their thoughts and their energy to be that glowed up version of themselves, instead of just sitting in that negativity and that annoyance and that frustration and letting it just take away all of the energy that they have? One of the biggest things that I feel like I've learned through my own glow up is that we are so addicted to these feelings of negativity. We're so addicted to the same response that we have to the same situations that a lot of the times aren't even a surprise. I promise you that there are scenarios in your head that you can think of that happen every day, every week, whatever, that you can predict and you know are gonna happen, but you still respond in the same way as if it's a surprise. And that is because we are addicted to feeling angry. We're addicted to feeling frustrated. We're addicted to that excuse and that emotion, and that keeps us from our goals. And that is the biggest thing with your glow up, is that has to change. You have to leave your resting state. And a lot of the times we don't respond to those situations in a very good way because we're uncomfortable letting that situation roll off. We're uncomfortable still being positive whenever we're dealing with something negative. And that is the difference between the girl or the guy that you are now and the girl or guy that you want to be. You're gonna have to walk, talk, and act like her before you become her, because you're either going to reinforce that old reality or you're going to create a new one through your thoughts and your beliefs and your actions. And you have got to be greater than your circumstance, which that is a very hard lesson that I had to personally learn. Whether it was a job I hated or something happening with school or with family, I had to learn to grow beyond the mindset that had created that current reality to elevate beyond it. I'm not naive to the fact that there are some really horrible situations out there, and I sympathize with that. But you have got to turn those circumstances into motivation and not excuses. I mean, for example, for me, I've talked about it before, but my early 20s were pure chaos. My parents divorced. We lost Cooper's mom. We lost my dad. His dad got brain cancer. We lost his grandmother. Like, I could go on and on with all of the things and the turbulence that we dealt with going through our early 20s. And I had every excuse in the book to sit here and wallow and just think I'm destined to, lack and just struggle and survival mode for the rest of my life. And I know to my core that that is not true. So instead of using those things as excuses and putting myself into this victimhood and letting life happen to me, I've really turned those things into motivation. I've turned the health issues that I saw my family suffer from, and I've seen a couple of them pass away from. I have turned that into such a strong motivation for what I do in their honor, and because I love them so much and I know what they would want for me because they love me so much, I've really turned that into motivation. And that's why I say, yes, I understand there are some really horrible circumstances out there, and you might be in one. I sympathize with it being difficult, but you've got to take that circumstance and use that as your motivation, because I promise you are so much greater than it. Now, there is absolutely no way that we are going to glow up on an empty tank. Your energy, your mood, your confidence, it all starts with what you put in your body. If you are constantly running yourself on processed foods, sugar spikes, caffeine crashes, you are setting yourself up to feel tired and exhausted and ultimately keeping yourself stuck in that cycle. Which is why we have got to focus on nourishing our bodies with the right food. I'll be honest, this is an area I really had to push myself with, because whenever we're feeling overwhelmed, we're tired, we're exhausted, we're stressed, we're sad, whatever the emotion, we're angry, you name it, it is so easy to go grab that cookie, that brownie, the Chick-fil-A, whatever it is. It's so easy to do that. And whenever I was younger, in my teenage years, when I was upset, it used to be retail therapy that I would just go gravitate towards. But as I've gotten older, it turned into food. It's easy to justify food because you can easily say oh, I don't need the dress, I don't need the shirt, I don't need another book. But food, you need food to survive, right? You have to eat. So I could easily justify going to get that ice cream, going to get those chicken nuggets from Chick-fil-A, going to get the french fry from wherever. And it is so toxic. It is so toxic. So I understand that this can be a part of your glow up journey, that you're gonna have to raise our standards and you're gonna have to really push yourself. To change this, we have got to change how we look at food. We have to look at food as fuel. It's not an escape. It's not therapy. It's not a coping mechanism. And if we're really wanting to glow up and really wanting to change, we cannot let food control us. And I'm not saying that it's going to be perfect, but all I'm saying is that you really want to be intentional with your food. The first step with this is taking back control. So if you're feeling stressed or you're feeling overwhelmed and you start to reach for food, just pause and ask yourself, are you actually hungry or are you just reaching for comfort? Because whenever we use food as a way to just numb our emotions, that's going to reinforce that old identity and just keep us stuck in that same cycle. The goal here is not to deprive yourself. It's to fuel yourself in a way that supports your best self. Now, if your glow up goal is anything like mine was and is to get lean or to tone up, you have got to be in a calorie deficit. No matter how healthy that you eat, if you're consuming more calories than what your body burns, you're not going to lose any fat. And no, you do not need to starve yourself and you don't need to go on some crazy diet. A calorie deficit is basically eating slightly less calories than what your body burns in a day, but you're doing it with nutrient-dense foods. So you really want to start by setting a goal for yourself. And what I did for this is I went to ChatGPT. I told it my height, my age, my weight, my goal weight, and just overall what my goals were, and asked it the amount of calories I would need in a day to get to those goals. Actually, I asked it calories, carbs, and protein, because you really want to eat high protein on a calorie deficit. It's going to really help with that muscle building and keeping you full. But I asked it those things and it did its little computation or whatever, all the calculations for me, and gave me exactly the numbers that I needed. And if you need help with this, I actually posted a video of what I eat in a day. I eat 1,600 calories a day and 130 grams of protein in that video. And that's exactly everything I eat and how I do it. So make sure to check that out after this video if that's something that you want to do with your glow up. The key that I've found with making this sustainable is to really prioritize high protein meals. High protein meals are going to keep you full and they're going to help you maintain muscle. You also want to fill up your plate with fiber-rich veggies. Veggies are naturally low calorie, but they are more volume, so it makes you feel like you're actually eating more than what you are. I'm also a very big snacker, so I had to figure out how I could swap out the empty calorie snacks that I was having with snacks that were actually more centered around protein. And I found that my snacks and my dessert, making those high protein, really bridged the gap with hitting my protein goal. I aim for 30 grams of protein per meal, and then that's about like 30, 60, 90. Yeah, it's 90 grams of protein if I hit 30 grams each meal. And then I would be able to hit that 130 between my snacks and my dessert. And a really, really big thing is to stay hydrated. Yes, I know this is so cliche. You hear it all the time. You're probably really tired of hearing it, but there is a reason that you are always hearing it. So if you're really hungry or if you're craving sugar, go drink some water. And if you are hungry enough to eat a carrot, if you are that hungry, then you know it's true hunger. That would help me a lot if I was craving like some ice cream, a cookie, or something that or chips, whatever I was hungry for. I would drink some water and I would ask myself, okay, am I still hungry? Could I go eat a carrot instead of eating what it is I'm craving? And if the answer is yes, then yes, go get yourself a snack. If not, you might just be dehydrated. Just remember, because I know that the term deficit is very daunting, or it can be daunting, it can be perceived in a very daunting manner, but the purpose of this isn't about eating less, it's about being more calculated and smarter with what you eat. Because you can be on a calorie deficit and you can be full. Like in my video, everything I ate that day, like I said, hit a little above 1,600 calories, but I was genuinely full. I was just as full that day as I was on a day where I would eat like 2,500 calories. We've got to cut back on processed sugar. I'm not saying you have to completely give up the treats that you enjoy, because I definitely still enjoy mine, but we cannot have them every single day, okay? We can't even have them every other day. Maybe like once a week. We can treat ourselves to it. We cannot be eating these sugar-loaded snacks and expect ourselves to feel fit and healthy and energized. It's just not the way it works, unfortunately. Personally, I have a massive sweet tooth. I love sweets. I love it all. But I had to find other ways that I could get those cravings while also being satiated. And this honestly just took a lot of trial and error. I would go on TikTok and just search up like low calorie, high protein desserts, and I found the chocolate chip protein muffin that I showed in that What I Eat in a Day video. I found a few other ones that I rotate with, like cottage cheese banana pudding. I know it sounds crazy, but I promise you it's delicious. Like, you just really have to experiment and see what it is that you like and get creative. You actually start to find that whenever you find those foods that you genuinely enjoy and that give you that satiating feeling of having a decadent dessert or just hitting that craving while also having clean ingredients, honestly, you start to crave those things more so than you do the things that you had before. Upgrade your plate, upgrade your life. Instead of just thinking about everything you can't have, think about what you can add. Think colorful veggies, lean protein, complex carbs, adding in more hydration, because whenever we are dehydrated, we feel very lethargic, very sluggish, and honestly bloated. Bloating comes from a lot of dehydration, so water really flushes out all the toxins and all the stuff that is keeping us bloated. You really want to make this effortless. We have to simplify it for ourselves and not overcomplicate the whole process. Make it easy on yourself. And one of my favorite ways to do this is to just plan your meals ahead. One way that I like to do this is I like to make sure that all of my fruits and veggies are pre-cut and pre-washed so that I set myself up for success, because I promise if I am hungry, craving sweets, I'm gonna go reach for some chips before I go wash a bell pepper or some blueberries. It's just the way it's gonna be, especially on a really busy day. So making sure that I have those healthy whole foods ready to go is gonna be such a game changer for you, I promise. I do also prep my meals every week because this takes away the excuse of not having enough time or just keeps me from going to get Chick-fil-A. Plus, I can never say, oh, there's nothing in there to eat. Girl, please, you've got chicken breasts and you've got some meat patties in there prepped. Go grab one, pick one you want. Also, a tidbit is whenever you go grocery shopping, make sure that you go in with a plan and do not go in hungry. Oh, that's dangerous. No list and hungry is a dangerous combo. So make sure you've written out your meals, the ingredients that you need for those, and make sure that you eat something that is nourishing and fulfilling to you before you go to the grocery store. Because if not, that's whenever those sugary, empty calories can just weasel their way into our carts, and we're not doing that. Nope, we are glowing up here. And ultimately, you have to listen to your body. Eat when you're hungry. Notice the foods that make you feel full, and notice how different foods make you feel after you eat them. This entire thing is not about a diet. It's about breaking free from food controlling you. It's about eating in a way that supports your best self without guilt, without restriction, and without obsession. Because whenever you eat well, you feel well. And whenever you feel well, you just show up differently. It's about making those intentional choices that make you feel your best. Now, in order to glow up, we also have to reduce our stress. You can do all the right things. You can eat healthy, you can do the mindset work, you can do all the workouts, but stress will ultimately dim your glow up. It affects your skin, it affects your energy, it affects everything. Which is why a really big part of glowing up is being able to release the things that are weighing you down. So stop carrying the things that are not yours. Not every problem is yours to fix. You have to protect your peace by letting go of the things that you can't control, which is, again, another life lesson I had to learn because I'm a control freak, okay? I like to have control over things. I like to know what's going on and when. It's just not possible. You can't stress yourself out trying to control everything. And when you are feeling stressed, you have to break that stress cycle, and the best way I have found to do this is to move your body. Go for a walk, go stretch, go dance to your favorite song, go put on a workout. Like, whatever you have to do to reset your nervous system, go do that. Stress literally thrives off of the instant reactions that you give to the situation. So when something happens, just take a step back, take a breath, and just really think about how you want to respond. You could even create like a calm ritual. So it could be a meditation, journaling, an exercise, going for a walk, like just something where you can take yourself out of the situation, Go realign your energy and come back to it more calm and more collected. You also have to learn to say no without feeling guilty. Overcommitting is the fastest way to burnout. And I know as a fellow people pleaser, it can be very hard to say no because you feel bad, and that has to stop. Really have to protect your time and your energy like they are your most valuable assets. Because they are. Your glow up is not just about how you look, it's about how you feel. Now that we've covered the foundation of your glow up, which starts on the inside, let's talk about your external glow up. Because whenever you really feel good on the inside, it's gonna reflect on the outside. If you wanna truly glow up, and not just on the outside, but in your energy, your mindset, your confidence, movement is non-negotiable. So we've got to stop waiting for motivation. Motivation is insanely unreliable. It's like that friend that is incredibly flaky. You just cannot expect it to always be there. And if you wait for whenever you're motivated, you're going to always have an excuse to not start and to not go for your workouts and not to get that movement in. What you need is discipline, because discipline is what's gonna get you moving even whenever you don't feel like it. But once you start moving, you are going to create that motivation. The endorphins kick in, you start to feel stronger, and then you just wanna keep going. So instead of asking yourself, do I feel like working out today? Tell yourself that I move my body because I respect it, not just when I feel like it. You have to find workouts that you actually enjoy. If you hate your workouts, you are not gonna stick to them. You just have to do what works best for you. It's not gonna be the same for everybody. Just start with going for a walk to hit your step goal, or go on an incline walk on the treadmill. Those are actually underrated and very, very effective. The goal of this isn't to force yourself into a routine that you dread. It's about finding a form of movement that makes you feel your best. If you love structure, maybe try doing Pilates or some workout classes. If you like high energy, maybe try some HIIT workouts. If you want something a little bit more low impact, maybe go for a hike or a walk. It's not about doing the best workout, it's about finding what you'll actually stick to and what you actually enjoy. Because remember, it is consistency over perfection. Lift weights. I'm so serious about this. If you want to tone up and you want to reshape your body and you want to feel stronger, weightlifting is going to be the key. Lifting weights actually boost your metabolism, so even after you're done working out, your body is still continuously burning calories. Plus, it builds lean muscle, so it makes you look very toned and sculpted and not bulky. I know that is like a fear of some girls with weightlifting, is that they're gonna look bulky, but you will not. You will get lean and you will get sculpted. Plus, it makes you feel powerful both mentally and physically. I know that whenever I either up my weight or I do the extra rep with the weight that I have, I feel so accomplished and I feel so good. I have felt my best with lifting weights. Plus, muscles equal longevity. It's been proven over multiple studies. Muscles are a key factor in maintaining a healthy metabolism. And if you've ever been in a loop and felt stuck of doing cardio for hours and hours and not seeing a real change, this is why. Strength training is the key to long-term body recomposition. What I would do is start strength training maybe 2 to 3 days a week and do progressive overload. So this is just where you increase your reps, you increase the weight and the intensity over time. In this glow up, you have to move every single day. I'm not saying to go to the gym and do a brutal session every single day, but you have to do some sort of movement, whether you just go do a quick stretch or you go for a quick 5 or 10 minute walk. Even on your rest days, just try to go hit your step goal of 8 to 10,000 steps a day, because the more you move, the better you're going to feel. And when you feel really good in your body, you're gonna show up in other areas of your life with more confidence, more energy, and just more powerful than what you ever have been. And if you're not gonna work out for the version of you now, work out for the future version of you. You are working out to be a stronger, healthier, and more unstoppable version of yourself. Because the woman that you're trying to become or that you are becoming, does not wait for motivation. She's not making excuses. She is moving her body because she knows that she's worth it. A huge thing for me with working out is that I want to be a mom one day. I don't want to have a bunch of aches and pains and not being able to run around with my kids. So really taking care of myself now before I become a mom and feeling fit, feeling strong, and building that endurance so that I can be what they need me to be, that is a huge motivation for staying fit and staying healthy, because I want to be around for them. I want to be around to see them have kids, and I want to be able to be one of those grandparents that is just super fit for their age, and I want to be in my 60s and running and doing weightlifting and whatever physical activity that I need or want to do. I want to be able to do it, and I know that what I do now is going to dictate that what I can do then. So that's just a huge motivation for me, and maybe that's something that you can think about as a motivation for you if you want to have a family one day. And I'm gonna tell you, strength training will be a huge thing in being strong in your older years and as your life goes on, because muscle mass, like I said, equals longevity. So that's just something that really keeps me motivated and grounded with my health and fitness. A huge part of glowing up is presenting ourselves as our best selves. When you feel put together, you just radiate a different kind of energy. So create systems into your beauty routine. So maybe start with your skincare. Take the time to do some research and figure out the products that are going to be the absolute best for your skin. For instance, for me, I have acne scars, so something that I really try to do in hyperpigmentation is I have incorporated microneedling and jade rolling to help a lot with my skin texture and to make me feel even better, because I know that the glow up version of myself would have beautiful skin. She would take the time to take care of it and know what it needs. So that's just something that I've implemented into my beauty routine. Just find a simple routine that works for you and stick to it. Just remember, you're not going to see results instantly. It is going to take time, and it's going to compound, and you'll see the results within several months depending on what it is you're doing. There are certain things you might see instant results, like a moisturizer, like your skin feeling just better after that. But if you're like me and you have scars and you're trying to change like the hyperpigmentation that you might have, then it's going to take some time to see some results. So just be patient. Keep it simple and make sure that you stick to it. Also, taking care of your hair. Whether you want to go get a fresh haircut or a fresh color, just figure out what you can do to keep your hair healthy and shiny, because I know that when my hair is dry and brittle, it needs a cut, it needs a little life added to it with some color, I don't feel very confident and I don't feel good. So just figure out what that is for you and how you can make your hair feel really good, really healthy, and take care of it. One thing I noticed for me was my ends were so dry. I was using way too much heat on my hair. So now I use a hair mask on it twice a week whenever I wash it. And I have significantly reduced the amount of heat that I use on my hair by using these heatless curls, which is actually how I got these in my hair now, is just a heatless curler that I found off of TikTok Shop. And it was literally, I think, like $14 or $15, but I use it all the time and I get so many compliments on my hair when I use it. So that's just one way where, like, for me, I feel really good when my hair is curled. I love curly hair. I think they're so fun. So that's just a way for me to keep my ends healthy, keep my hair shiny, because I'm not drying out the ends and I'm keeping it moisturized with my hair mask. And it has honestly been just a very simple hair care routine that has made a world of difference. Plus, I've found that it has grown so quickly. It's literally, when it's straight, it's grown at least like an inch or two since I've been doing this, because it's actually getting the nutrients that it needs and it's not being just completely torn off with split ends by using so much heat. Also, taking care of yourself in the little ways. So maybe making sure your nails are painted. If that makes you feel really good, go and get them done. It always makes me feel so refreshed whenever my nails are painted, and just makes you feel like you're just really put together. Maybe even like tweezing your eyebrows. I know I really try to make sure my eyebrows stay nice and tweezed and clean because they're easy to do with my makeup every day whenever they are tweezed. So that's just something that really frames your face and can make a really big difference. Also, picking a signature scent that makes you feel really good. I know for sure whenever I smell good, I feel so much more confident. So right now I have like a coconut deodorant and I have a coconut perfume that I love, so I know that I'm walking around smelling like a tropical princess, and it just makes me feel so good. So find out what that is for you and just find a really fun signature scent for yourself. There's so many out there, and you can even change it with the seasons. These little details are incredibly small, but they honestly make such a big difference. And plus, they're just signs of self-respect and taking care of yourself. We also want to dress for the life that we want. How you dress helps you step into that version of yourself that you're becoming. The way you present yourself has a very direct impact on how you feel, and in turn is going to change how others perceive you. Think about how you feel when you put on a bomb outfit and you know you look good. You feel more polished, you feel more confident, and you just feel ready to take on anything that day. That is the energy that you have to channel, and that is the energy that you have to step into. Wear the things that make you feel confident, even if you're just running errands. I like to make sure that I invest in quality basics, so like a good pair of jeans, maybe some simple basic tops that you can kind of mix and match, but I feel like it's worth it because you can use them in so many different outfits, but you know that they're timeless pieces that you can literally throw on and feel so put together. You also want to stick to a color palette that complements your skin tone. I am not a fashion connoisseur, but you can definitely do research on this and figure out exactly what colors would look best with your hair color, your eye color, and your skin tone, and then just kind of build your wardrobe around that. With a glow up, we are not following trends. We are literally going to curate a wardrobe that's going to help you show up as the best version of yourself. So just figure out what defines your personal style and what makes you feel elevated. Get rid of the things that do not fit and that don't align with this new version of yourself. The real glow up happens whenever you carry yourself with confidence because you know that you look and feel your best. And when you start dressing like the person that has the life that you want, you're literally going to become her. In this glow up, you have to prioritize you. Your glow up starts right now for you. You have spent way too long putting yourself last and saying yes to things that you should have said no to. You've spent way too long putting off becoming that version of yourself that you want to be. That stops today. Imagine where you'll be in 3 months if you just commit to yourself. Consistency, discipline, and dedication will literally transform you from the inside out. The best version of you is only 3 months away. So make the decision right now. Commit to the process and watch how your life changes. So I have some homework for you to really start putting this stuff into motion, because I know this video had a ton of information in it, but I really want you to have a way to start putting it into action to where it really starts to give you momentum. So for the next 7 days, I want you to write 2 things you can do every single day, and I don't care how small that they are, but these 2 things have to be things you can do that day that will push you closer to the goals that you want to achieve and the version of yourself you want to become. The goal with this is to really build momentum for yourself. And after you do this for 7 days, you're going to have that momentum because you're going to build that self-trust with yourself, and you're going to just feel that sense of accomplishment. And a part 2 to this is, while you are doing these things and as you're going throughout your day, the affirmation I want you to keep repeating to yourself, no matter what happens or what is going on, even if you're in a good mood, I want you to say, my name is, say your name, and only good things happen to me. So for me, I say, my name is Michaela, and only good things happen to me. And I want you to say it like you mean it. Do not say it passively. Say it like you mean it. Yell it at the top of your lungs if you have to. Say it with passion and you will believe it, and this is how you're going to rewire your thoughts. This is going to feel silly at first and you're not going to believe yourself. You're going to feel like you're lying to yourself. But this is how you start to rewire those thoughts, because your brain is going to start believing that the more and more you say it, and in turn you're going to start looking for the things that are good that happen to you and you'll overall start to see your external reality really start to change, and you will completely change your life before you know it. Remember, you are not talking to yourself now, you're talking to the person that you're becoming. And you are not doing this alone. So take a second, leave a comment down below, and let me know what the first 2 things are that you're going to do in your 7 days. No matter how big or how small, because here's the thing, growth happens a lot faster whenever you're surrounded by people who actually get it and people that actually support you. And this is just the beginning of the community that we're building here. So make sure that you comment that down below, and let's just support each other in creating this glow up for ourselves. So if you are ready to step into this next level of yourself, make sure that you hit subscribe down below, because we are on this journey together. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you found it helpful and that it gave you the inspiration and motivation that you needed to really make this year, this summer, the time that you truly glow up. Just remember, you can do this. I believe in you, and thank you so much for being here and for watching. And I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.